Hello, hello. Welcome. Liz Royce with 52 CEOs. And today we're going to be talking about intuition, right? Everyone knows what that is, hopefully, that gut feeling, that instinct, whatever you want to call it, the draw, the pull, the energy. I've heard it called so many different things. But the card says, go with your gut and listen to that feeling you get in your stomach. Be one with your body. Really pay attention to it. I've heard some people say, I don't ever get a feeling about anything. You probably do, you just don't recognize it or you discount it. And children are super good at this, right? They sometimes will say, that person seems weird to me. And there was actually a study, I want to say it was either 60 Minutes or 2020, where what they did was they had a car pull up to kids playing outside, and some kids ran into the house, and the parent said, why did you run in? They said, I had a weird bad feeling in my stomach. They just knew instinctually that they were either in danger or there was something off. They couldn't quite pinpoint it because it's not like the person said or did anything that scared them, but they had a bad feeling in their gut. And this is really, really true. I'll tell you, I've experienced it in my life where sometimes you just kind of get that feeling like, oh, I'm thinking about so and so, and you call them, and what do they say? I was just thinking about you. It's amazing how this world is all connected. We're all energy. We're all working together at the same time and growing, truly. And that's what I started off with 52 CEOs saying, we're all cultivating each other simultaneously. We are truly all growing at the same time. It is absolutely beautiful. And a story I want to share with you, this was years and years ago when I lived in Connecticut. I was a very young court reporter, and we went into some places as court reporters that we weren't familiar with, and they weren't always the best. And one day I was in Bridgeport, Connecticut, in a parking garage, and I don't know why, but I got into the elevator with my steno machine and got into the elevator, and a man came in behind me. And there was nothing in particular about the man, but something in me, I don't know what it was, intuition, I got butterflies, which was the strangest thing because oftentimes men would get in there and I wouldn't think anything of it. And thankfully, I acted fast and I said, oh, I forgot something in the car. I forgot to lock my car. I don't even remember what I said, but I went out. And I don't know if he would have done something or not, but I have never had that feeling again. But when I tell you the hair on the back of my neck was standing up, I couldn't explain the feeling. It was just one of those instinctual intuitions that I had that I just knew I had to get out of there. And it's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me in terms of the intuition and listening to myself. But I mean, just other things that have happened in my life as well. When I got pregnant with our second child, we weren't trying, but I knew there was something off with me. And I said to my husband, if I don't test positive for being pregnant, then I have cancer or something is happening inside my body because I could tell. So it's important to listen to your intuition. And so that's my story about going in. Okay, so here's the other thing. Is it good or bad? Sometimes intuition is good and bad, right? And it's amazing to me because we sometimes interpret intuition and feelings as the quote unquote right time. Well, it's like having babies, right? It's never the right time to have a baby. So you're not going to get the feeling sometimes of, okay, you know what, now's the right time. And I laugh at that because my husband and I had a third because we could never quote unquote agree that we felt like having a third at the same time. And then God made the decision for us and it became the right time. And so it never is the right time until you make a decision. And then voila, it's the perfect time. Everything seems to work out perfectly. It always does, right? So don't really focus on that in terms of deciding like, oh, I'm going to use my intuition when it's the right time to do something. That's not really what I'm talking about there. I'm talking more about situations and using your gut when you are in a situation where you just have to make a quick decision. And sometimes that's marketing. It could be as simple as, do you want to go with red or blue? And I want to go back to the kids, because kids sometimes don't use their intuition correctly either. Sometimes it's past experience that causes them to have a feeling. So let's just say they were at a store and I'm wearing red today, and there was a woman who was wearing red that yelled at them for touching the balls or balloons or something, whatever it was. And so then they associated, maybe I met them shortly after and I'm wearing red, and then they're like, oh, that lady's mean because the other person was wearing red that yelled at them. So sometimes that can be confusing, and it's important to recognize that as well, whether it's situational or if it's something that has happened in your past that come triggers, right? So maybe it's a trigger or something that you can recognize that it's not necessarily your intuition. It's maybe an experience that you've had and you're holding on to that. And that's what's guiding that feeling. So I hope you enjoyed this today about intuition. And if there's any question that you have, I would love to talk to you about it. Let me know and I'll be in touch. Thank you so much.